Alright guys, welcome back to Movement Mondays. We're just having a workout here and I came across some cool sort of movement patterns with the deadlift. So a lot of times it's not actually mobility that's limiting us, right? It could be a whole bunch of things. If you're in a deadlift, it could be really anything from your head to your toes. A lot of times we have hip mobility restrictions. What we're talking about today is a strength deficit. So I'm going to have Marco here pass me over the camera. Awesome. We're going to take a look at Marco come over here and step up into his deadlift. So he's coming up over here, and before we even say too much, we're going to watch him. Now I want you guys to pay attention here to his loaded position at this knee and this ankle. So already we can see, if we look at his right ankle, how he's dropped in and sort of a bit more pumped there. So his subtalar joint, which is the joint that sort of sits at the bottom of the ankle, sort of between the heel and the actual ankle joint itself, it's a bit kind of crinked in. And that could be for a whole bunch of reasons. He's a hockey player, he's a goalie, right Marco? Yeah. Best goalie. So we're going to see him sort of drop down into and to go into his position for us. So he's going to come into his deadlift. How much is on there, Marco?
290.
290. Lightweight. So he sneaks in there. Make sure the medicine ball's out of the way. Awesome. So he drops down. So what we can see already, he's collapsed a bit more in here. I want you to watch his knee. Good. And come on up there, Marco. Drive up. Awesome. So you guys see when he came up, and he kind of dropped in right there at the center. And really look at his ankle there. Good. One more time, Marco. So watch his knees straight. He loads up on the bar. Awesome, load up. Good, and you can see it drop right in there on the side. Good, and then come back down. Those quads look great in the mirror. So now Marco, step back from there. And now I want you to do that unloaded. So he's going to come there, do that same movement, no load. Watch that knee again. And come back out. So pretty clean. Good straight movement. His ankle is pretty solid there when he comes down. It's still kind of dropped in, but watch my finger and come down again, Marco. No drop in at all. And my finger besides my shaky cameraing. So pretty good. So if Marco then pops down on his side, so we can have him lay on his side, I want to test out his bum muscles because I know Marco, I know he's got pretty good flexibility. He's a goalie, so he's pretty solid. So he's looking at his left leg here. So you guys can see I'm straightening out his leg. Good, and have you hold that position for me, Marco. Don't let me move you. Hold it. And I can beat him pretty easily there. Good, and then if he switches over on the other side, good. He sneaks over, awesome. Pop that leg, and I'm going to show you guys again. So I'm going to use only 2 fingers on this side because he holds up here. Good. There's his leg, and we have the barbell in the way, but don't hold that, Marco. Went pretty easy. Does that feel easier or harder, Marco? Or
It feels a little bit easier on the right side.
Easier on the right side or harder?
Or a little bit easier in that movement.
Yeah, so it feels a little bit easier. For me, I'm using 2 fingers as opposed to a full hand on that side. So he's feeling a little bit easier there. Now, just to show everyone your range, Marco, can you do a straight leg raise for us, like after leg raise? So he's pretty flexible, so it's not an issue if he can get down to the hip hinge. It's an issue more of the fact that he can't control that hip. So if Marco stands up for us, I'm going to pass this back over to you, sir. Yep. Thank you. Now we can talk about what do we do, right? So Marco has good mobility of his hips. He can get his legs back. He can drop down. His ankles are pretty clear, right? He's not having issues there. But what it comes down to is he can't control his knee. He's pretty strong this way. Marco, how much do you squat?
315.
So 315. So he's pretty good at getting those glutes to explode up, but he can't quite drive those knees out in the more frontal plane or sort of coronal plane of his movement. So if we take a band, throw that around his knees, up here, and then have him go into that same movement. Now he's going to lock out his knees. This drives him in, so he's holding out, stabilizing in his glutes. When he then drops down into his start position for his deadlift, he's going to help lift up his arch a little bit, so driving in the base of his foot, but most importantly, stabilizing his knees so we can get that force through and kind of stabilize the glutes in the right way. Cool?
Yep.
So let's pop this back over to Mr. Marco, and we'll watch him pop that onto those hairy legs. Awesome. Hurts, eh?
A little bit. Avoid ripping my hair out.
We're sweaty though. So we'll want it around above your knees actually.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No worries. Awesome. Sometimes if you really want to be nice, you can put this around your shorts, but Marco's too tough for that, so he's not going to do that. So he lines up again, drives his knees out, gets loaded up. Awesome. So again, we're going to watch that part of his foot. He's already looks more straight when we look at his shin, right? And then if he comes up, drives up, Awesome. Good. And then come back down. How's that feel?
Feels good.
Yeah, and you can see his knees staying a bit more vertical and his shin when he comes up. One more time. Marco's even pretty tired. Awesome, come back down. So he's a little shaky when he comes up. He might have some instability at the foot going on we could work on, but just that little tweak at his hips, we can see a lot more sort of stability and potentially some more poundage coming out through his deadlift. All right, thanks, Marco.
Thank you, guys. Hope this helps.